The next step in the delegation process is the monitoring phase. This step involves monitoring the actual performance of the task and providing guidance and redirection as needed. This is the area that can be the most troublesome in the delegation process. We delegate the task, we define expectations, and we send assistants off on their merry way to complete the tasks. We have every intention of supervising them. However, we get busy. Time slips by, and before you know it, the shift is over, and we've yet to touch base with them. Or we monitor the process, but do not reconfirm that the assistant is capable of taking care of the changing needs of the client. The assistant gets in over his or her head, and we fail to recognize the potential harm to the client. This is skating on professional thin ice.
Initially, I wasn't overwhelmed, but by the time Mr. Ringwald had soiled himself for the third time, I was up to my elbows in a big mess, and in more ways than one. So I asked a volunteer to check on Mrs. Campbell. I didn't think it would be a problem. Then I heard a loud thunk. When I got to her room, she was in the bathroom on the floor. Mrs. Campbell, are you all right? Help! Anybody, help!
What's the problem? Oh, my God, what happened?
Well, I don't know, dear. One moment I was on the john, and the next thing I knew, I was on the floor.
Go get Karen. Let me take a look at you. Do you know where you are? Oh, how is she? She seems to be okay. She has a small bump on the side of her head. I don't know what she hit it on. She doesn't seem to remember what happened. Nothing else seems to be hurt.
All right, well, let's get her back to bed. You get her vitals and I'll call the doctor. Keep an eye on her and don't let her get out of bed again. Ruth, take her vitals and do neurochecks every half hour for a couple of hours and keep me posted.
When there is a change in the client's condition, the nurse must reassess the situation to determine if the abilities of the assistant are still compatible to the client's needs. In this situation, they weren't. It is also critical to verify the assistant's understanding of the directions. Karen did not validate that Ruth understood the importance of observing the client, nor did she provide any direction regarding reportable conditions.
Assignments are not written in stone. They can and should be changed based on the dynamics of the client's condition. Continuity of care should never supersede client safety. Here are some situations that indicate that the delegation should be reconsidered. 1. The client's condition has changed. 2. There is evidence that the work is not being completed as outlined. 3. The assistant fails to report back to you. Or 4. The assistant is given additional tasks to complete.
Jenny, Mrs. Campbell's complaining of a headache.
Did you tell Karen?
I went looking for her, but she's all tied up with the new admission. She told me to find you.
Well, I'm just as busy as she is. All right. Are her vital signs okay? What about her neurochecks?
She seems fine, just a little tired and worn out from all the commotion. But her pupils are equal, they react to light. I think she's just tired.
Well, I'm busy right now. Grace is giving meds on your patient. Go ask Grace to give her something for pain.
I couldn't tell her I was losing ground. I was slipping away slowly but surely. My pupils were reacting but sluggishly. My pulse pressure was widening. Unfortunately, no one picked up on it. The nursing assistant just didn't have the knowledge base or the experience to see the subtle changes in my condition. She couldn't put the pieces of the puzzle together to see the big picture. Oh, I was in trouble, and I needed help.